Hey guys, and welcome back to another Conan Exiles video. Today we are spotlighting a brand new map mod, and one that looks incredibly promising for the future. So let's take a look at the wild stretches of Wolves Beyond the Border. This map is new, added to the Steam Workshop on the 26th of January 2024, created by friend of the channel Lieutenant Scarro, who has previously created the pretty popular extension GrimMap, and is part of developing the Empire of Stygia, a modded map I've showcased before. Wolves Beyond the Border is a pretty large mod, as most custom maps are, coming in at 1.1 gig, and it is available of course on the Steam Workshop. The mod is currently in alpha, so the map is somewhat small at the moment, with lots of room for expansion, and the final size will end up being similar to the Exiled lands, so as the mod itself develops it will grow much more. However, despite it not looking a lot on the map screen itself, there is a good amount of space here. Even though it's quite early in development, this map is going to be geared towards PvE and roleplay. However, this is more than just a simple map, and fans of the Conan lore will definitely have something to chew on here. Wolves Beyond the Border is set in southern Bossonia, a marvellous land of rocky hills, swamps, forests and frosty peaks. This map specifically has been grounded within the wider Conan the Barbarian universe, and I think this quote from Lieutenant Scarro himself probably says it best. The idea of this mod is to bring a well-known area of Aquilonia to the game. My favourite story for Conan was Beyond the Black River, which inspired the mod. The mod will aim to, in one way or another, follow the story from Beyond the Black River up to the short story Wolves Beyond the Border, which is the namesake. With a grounding in the original Conan stories by Robert E. Howard, the map has some very solid bones to build on. However, how is the map right now? Well, considering that it's far from complete, it looks pretty promising. The landscape is broad with many natural features to help things stand out, and by that same virtue, there's also plentiful open space for builds of all sizes. It's aided further by the roads that carve through the map, which add a bit of structure to what would otherwise be just aimless wandering. In this small area of the map, there is a surprisingly large amount of diversity in terms of settings and areas. There are rocky hills, the swamps to the south, the rivers, the forests, and of course a snowy area to the north. Each area has plenty of building space, and the map currently does not have any build blockers at all, so you can, quite literally, build anywhere. Despite that though, the map is far from blank. There's already a few notable locations. Deep into the swamp you'll find Fort Thandara, a Bossonian log-walled settlement. Over in the northeast you'll find Llewellyn Farm, which is a charming farmland area, just a short walk southwest of Skondara, another large walled Bossonian settlement on the coast of the Shrieky River. In the western area there's a bunch of camps for the tribes, all of which are named after animals such as the panther tribe, alligator tribe, etc. It's also worth noting that the map currently has access to sorcery, though it hasn't been expanded upon, and all resources up to star metal can be found in the world, mainly within the caves, but the star metal meteors themselves will also land in the snowy peaks, so it does have some practical routes of play, though it is most definitely geared towards role players and builders. There's also some nice nuggets of storytelling around the biomes, only small things but stuff like burnt down villages or abandoned shacks that have been overtaken by wolves. Nothing too major yet, but very nice little storytelling touches nonetheless. The map also has numerous cave systems hidden around, some of them more obvious than others. I won't spoil any of the big ones, but probably the easiest one to find is the giant cave beneath the snow mountains. However, you will have to come equipped, as the caves on this map are dark. The night is also incredibly dark, so you're most definitely going to need a torch whenever the sun sets, or whenever you dare to go delving beneath the earth. Of course, with this map being so early in development, it's hard to predict how it will grow over time. The Bossonian marches border Zingara to the south, Aquilonia to the east, and the Pictish wilderness to the north, and given that our playable area is currently fairly central, it's possible we could see some of those areas in the future. It's also worth noting that Fort Thandara and Skondara are on this map too, so other locations like Fort Tuscalan, or maybe even Mount Golomira, are potential additions in the future. Whilst the map is currently, of course, very early in development, Wolves Beyond the Border has a lot of promise. There's ample space for building and exploring, and the landscape is interesting and varied enough to stop it feeling samey, whilst also offering a good amount of space in each biome. The inclusion of smaller though still significant natural features and landmarks is a very nice touch, and by having the map tied to a pre-existing location and time period in the Conan universe, it keeps the world grounded and introduces areas and places that are not only fitting, but relevant to exactly what is happening in the map at the time. If you're a fan of the source material, I think this is a really great map to have and to watch it develop. And I also think that when you compare it to a map like the Exiled Lands, it builds on those more interesting areas like the Highlands and the Tundra, for example, or the swamps in the east that, in my opinion, can feel a little bit too small or a bit lacking on the Exiled Lands, and it builds them up and makes them a bit more unique, a bit more interesting to be in, and of course, much easier to build within. Lieutenant Scarro has the experience and the passion to make this map great as development continues. For being only an alpha and releasing 3 days ago as of the date of recording, I think there's some very good things on the horizon with Walls Beyond the Border. The link to this mod is in the description of this video. I highly recommend you give it a try. If you're a builder like me, there's plenty of space to build, well, anything on this map, and if you're a role player, there's already a decent amount of space available, and future development will undoubtedly make this map even better. And there we have it, a showcase of Wolves Beyond the Border, a brand new custom map for Conan Exiles on the Steam Workshop. Thank you for watching, and of course, a massive thanks to our wonderful esteemed coffee cultists for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon. This probably isn't the last you'll see of this map on my channel. I'll most likely end up doing a couple of builds on here, and I'll be following the development closely too to see how it fleshes out. Again, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.